Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 439 at scavengerlife.com.
It is another Black Friday weekend.
Yes.
We had people at our doors at 4 a.m.
At our doors.
Busting into our house, buying stuff.
Right.
Yep. So, I think for people like us, I don't know, us personally, Black Friday is not ever really that big of a deal because I feel like Black Friday is all about like buying big screen TVs and
going
electronics.
To Costco and Best Buy.
I'm not sure if our kind of weird stuff is on people's shopping lists, but we were talking about it on a forum, and some people were doing better than others. Just another day.
Yeah, some people were doing great.
Yeah.
Some people were like, I hear crickets.
Yeah.
We sold 2 things yesterday.
Yeah. But we did have a pretty good week. It was just earlier in the week. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you say, list it, forget it. It'll sell. Last week, we were talking about several things, so I wanted to bring up maybe some answers because we're asking some questions. So someone was saying that their friend started a new eBay account and they couldn't sell on global shipping. So we're like, what's the problem? Something Fantastic said...
That's their name.
The reason the new account can't use GSP is probably because all new accounts are being put into the managed payment system. Right. And we know GSP is not available if you're signed up with managed payments. Now, so that's a problem.
So my thought originally was that eBay was going to put global shipping program in managed payments. That's why I found it odd that they were like, yeah, there's this whole eBay send thing. Well, and you're like, wait, what?
I mean, I guess that's, so, I loved like Just to Be a Robot. So that's really the AB, like which road are we going to go down? So is eBay going to transition managed payments to allow global shipping program? Or is eBay going to move everyone to managed payments and get rid of global shipping?
Exactly.
And
which is it?
We don't know.
Right.
So that's all. The other thing is you were saying that we sold an item, we shipped it to the address on the person's account.
Yeah.
It got sent back to us, and then the person's like, oh, ship it here instead.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to find their PayPal address.
Right.
And so Simon told you...
Simon and Sharon. I believe it was Sharon that told me.
She didn't tell you. It was Simon.
Okay, someone with an S name.
Anyway, so tell us how you found that.
So 2 things. One is... I was able to, so when you look at the PayPal email that comes in and it's like, hey, you got paid by PayPal. This is the item number. You can't see their email address anywhere that I could see. But if you press reply, it doesn't reply to PayPal. It replies to their email address. However, so this person's email address was like yahoo.com. And I'm like, I bet they never checked that email address. So I sent the invoice to that yahoo.com. I messaged them and I was like, I have to send you an invoice for new shipping. He was able to send me his email address in the message. So it was actually a Gmail address. I resent the invoice, he paid, and I shipped it out.
Cool.
So that's part of the problem is that eBay doesn't allow you to give information and get information from your buyers even after you have a transaction.
Right.
They've paid. You're trying to get information and they don't want any payments outside of eBay, so they're like, you can't send the email address or the phone number. And you're like, eBay.
Yeah.
So for some reason he was able to send me his email address, so I resent it. So everything worked out.
Cool.
But we
had another issue where we mailed something to Venezuela.
Yeah.
And the buyer said, I'm not getting it. And so I'm not sure exactly how that has panned out, but the Seamless store told us if we have priority insurance on it, we can make a claim.
Right.
Or if it was sent priority shipping, it should have insurance, and we can make a claim and get all of our money back. And my question is, do they also pay for the shipping? Because that's what was expensive.
Right. It was the shipping that was expensive. That's a good question. I haven't done that yet. because I have not actually refunded my customer, because he started being actually super nice and super like empathetic to me, because he's like, yeah, I know it's in my country, so I'm just going to wait it out and it's not your fault. Like, that's what he started saying.
Nice.
He's like, and he was like, I'll let you know, every week I hear something, I'll contact you. And I'm like,
Cool.
Great. Thank you. That's all I was asking for. So I guess maybe he realized, like, it's not my fault.
So we did not do this global shipping. We did it
It's
priority
direct.
international.
Yeah.
Okay. And so is it true, though, if you make a claim that they'll pay for the shipping as well? Through a U.S.
You can ask for it. Right. There have been times where I've asked for them to cover the price of shipping if it's within the limit, the 100, or people are saying international is covered by $200, which I didn't realize. I've had them pay that, and I've had them not pay it. I've had them just pay for the item.
It's just kind of arbitrary.
They decide. They decide.
Interesting. Yeah, because the post office has actually been very good about, they do it pretty quick. Although there have been times where, like, we mailed a sink to someone and it broke, or it got dented, and they said, well, we'll only give you X amount because it can get fixed.
Oh, really?
Remember that time? And we had to send them an invoice from, like, a local craftsman who said they could fix it?
I don't think it was a sink, but okay. Yeah, yes. No, that was not the post office. That was ShipSaver. It's always ShipSaver who's like, if this can get, it was a light. It wasn't a sink. Right. Can this get repaired?
Right.
They ask if it can get repaired. And if you're like, no, sometimes they're like, we don't believe you. Like, you're talking with a case manager.
Right.
So you have to get a quote. But I've never had the post office ask me for that.
I stand corrected.
So, I don't know. It's not fun.
So, big news in our house, in our business, is our inventory system. We have been waiting years to finally get up the nerve.
We haven't been waiting years. We've been taking years to get up the nerve.
Now that we've started it, we love it. And so our helper is just going through bins. We're probably 10% through right now.
She's really fast. She's faster than I can even keep up with.
Yeah. And the cool thing is we're selling things now where there's actually an inventory, a number on the eBay.
And you're listing. Like, it's just in that bin. Right. Go get it.
Yeah.
I'm not guessing.
I feel like a real... Yeah, we're like a real business.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So, more to the story, of course, but I'm really been keeping track of, people say, well, once you start doing real inventory, you'll notice there's a lot of stuff that won't be in your eBay store that's in your inventory because eBay erases your listings. That's
arbitrarily.
That's the kind of
it's like a big eraser.
That's the thing that people think, and maybe they experience that. So let me share our experience.
Yes.
We've probably done 500 items, 800 items, I don't know.
I'd say closer to 500.
Yep. And so far, we have not had one item that is not in our eBay store that we know is not our fault. We have found items that are not in our eBay store, but when we do the detective work, we know why it wasn't in our store. Let's start in, it's probably
4 or 5.
So like 1%. Number one.
Right.
We sold an item. We sold we had 2 items.
Yes.
And one of them we sold one of those items and we shipped the wrong one.
And nobody seemed to care.
Right.
Although they were the same item. They were a lot of computer adapters.
Right.
One was a lot of 8. They were all the same.
Right.
And one was a lot of 12.
Right. And they bought the 12 and
I sent them 8.
Right.
I wish they had said something.
Right.
But
so that was our fault.
I switched the listing. I listed it correctly.
Another one was, a couple of them were ones where we couldn't find in our store, but we also couldn't find any photos of it.
It was 2 items.
2 items. And that is probably me. When I was taking pictures of everything, I know it could easily have happened where I'm like, I'm going through and I take a break and I think I took pictures of this, but I didn't, and I put it in the finished bin. And
it's in the finished bin for 3 years
so
unlisted.
That's on me.
So there was a couple of things like that where I'm like, I have no record of this ever being listed. I have no photos of it in our backlog. And that's it. It's not on InkFrog.
And then we had another one where, we do this from time to time. We're like, let's just put some stuff on auction and see what happens. Like, maybe auctions will work because everyone's like,
auctions
you should
work.
do auctions. So we tried selling the thing on auction. It didn't work.
I forgot to relist it.
And we forgot to relist it.
I don't know if I forgot or it was just some glitch, because usually I would go in the bulk, what is unsold, and you're like, relist as fixed price. Right. For whatever reason, this item never got relisted.
So, we still have so much to actually inventory. But as of right now, we have not found that problem that people have talked about where eBay is kicking things off. Because my hypothesis, and people will say I'm wrong, but my hypothesis, it's more of a user error.
Yes.
People are doing auctions, they're re-listing after 30 days, they're manually doing stuff in their store. Go, right.
For a long time, also, when someone either canceled a sale, happens all the time, or sent back a return, there was never an automatic thing like ClickBox that was like, relist this after you refund. That's new.
Right.
So you'd get a return. Say someone returns a pair of shoes, and you're like, refund, and then you put it back in the bin, but you forgot to relist it.
Right.
I'm telling you, I've done it because I've seen something and I've been like, I remember someone returned that before. Right. I should check that it's relisted, and it is or it isn't.
Yeah. So far, that's been our experience. I don't know. Maybe other people are having different problems with eBay, but so far, that's our experience. Now, one other thing we're finding with our inventory is, so we are members of InkFrog.
Yes.
We're on the InkFrog team. It's like one of these third-party listing apps. And the only reason why we have it is just to back up our eBay store. So it syncs with our eBay store all the time. So if eBay were to explode, all of our listings includes photos, just everything.
Yeah.
Is in InkFrog.
Right.
You'll be able to explain this better, but InkFrog is inserting some extra numbers into the inventory.
So one of these items that I needed to relist, it was those computer adapters. I needed to look up the old listing. The one that I sold, but didn't actually send out, right? So I'm like, I need that old listing. It was only from like July. So I went in and I was like, hey, InkFrog, let's end this listing that's incorrect, and let's relist this old one of like 12 units, 12 adapters. And I was putting the inventory number, the custom SKU. This is the bin number and the shelf and the blah, 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 or custom SKU. I put it in the description. I put it in the custom SKU field. When I listed it from InkFrog,
to eBay,
I'm like, launch. They call it launch. Launch immediately. I looked on eBay to make sure everything was correct. So supposedly my inventory number is something like 2/A/001. Okay. What InkFrog was doing was saying 001-44. And you're like, what? Why would you insert that number for me? So I had to go in and like, no, delete, right. Fix it.
So that's just something we need to be aware of if we ever do a mass export.
Right.
We would either need to go and clean that up.
I just don't know why it's doing it.
We would
seems
need to
very buggy.
Do more work and figure out why it's doing that.
Unless I need to look through my settings on InkFrog, and it's like, if there's a SKU number, why would it insert such a random number though?
I will say, when we signed up with InkFrog, we did that a year or so ago.
Yeah.
I think that was also another good for us to evolve our store, because it does give us that backup. It's pretty cheap, $10 a month or something like that.
I forget what it is.
But at Rihanna, her and her husband say that they're on vacation or they're just out of the country for a couple of months.
Right.
And she's like, I think I just want to end my store.
Right. End in quotes.
So she's looking into that would be a good thing if you had something like InkFrog.
Right.
The only reason why we like InkFrog is because it's in the cloud. So these other software like
Wunderlist or 6-bit.
Yeah.
I think you have to have it all on your hard drive.
The database is on your computer, and those guys love that because then they have total control. It's just a different way to do it. So if you have like one of those services, then your store can be somewhere else. So I guess thing I don't understand. So if she wants to end her store, let's say for 2 months, can't she just like hide her a listing?
She can do that on eBay. You can put it, because my mom does this all the time when she goes to Florida or whatever. She will put it on, in quotes, vacation mode, and it says hide listings so people can't buy them.
Right.
You can do it for several months, so you can do it there. But Rihanna was saying she was thinking of like syncing everything over to InkFrog and then like canceling all her listings, and then when they get back, list all items.
So I guess is she trying to solve a problem of like not paying a listing fees, or like if you hide your store, are you paying for the listing fees, or I don't know.
Yeah, you are. Yes,
you are?
yes. You still pay. You still pay everything. You won't pay final value fees because nothing's selling.
Right. So,
but your store subscription, yeah.
Okay.
But if she has a store subscription, that's yearly. So.
Well, if you choose to do the year.
Is that true?
Some people don't like. They give you
cheaper.
a discount if you just sign up for the whole year.
Oh, okay. So she might not do that.
Yeah.
It's a good question. Like, what is the problem she's trying to solve? Maybe not paying fees.
Yeah.
Also, I know that they are like semi-retired, I guess.
She probably
that's
I'll laugh to hear that.
No, I know she's gonna listen to this and be like, "What are you talking about?" Or they have not semi-retired. They have a flexible lifestyle where they can go out of the country for a couple months. But I wonder if they're like, we're traveling and we actually don't know when we're coming home.
Right.
So that could be why. Where she's like, we could be gone 6 months just because we feel like it. So that's. Rihanna, you have to tell us.
We have no idea. Yeah.
Where are you?
But I think the whole point of just bringing it up is just, like thinking of different ways to back up your store, especially if you're putting that much time into it.
Well, that's why I actually loved InkFrog this last couple of weeks, was that I was trying to solve those mysteries. Like, here's 5 items in this basket, and I'm trying to figure out, why aren't they listed? Oh, okay, are they here? Are they here? I'm looking in my email. I'm looking on my backup disk of like 10 years worth of photos.
So, will these programs like 6-bit or I guess InkFrog that we do, so we've only had it for a year or 2 maybe. Let's say we have it for 10 years.
Right.
Is it going to keep?
I don't know.
Okay. For 10 years.
So what I would love is to be able to do a bulk export and let it download my photos. And I haven't heard that that's a possibility.
And then like export. I guess that would be the real backup. So then if InkFrog went down, like
then you'd have
every 3 months export out some big file.
I would love to be, so everybody's always like, use File Exchange. Well, File Exchange doesn't let you download photos.
Right.
That's the most important part.
Right. It's just like a CSV or something.
Yeah, so you're like, that's fine, but like just bulk download my photos and have an item number associated with them.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
so if someone can tell me.
That was super nerdy. Okay.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about our numbers this week. So we sold 39 items.
How many? 39?
39.
I thought you said 13.
39. And we made $1,457.89.
That's way more than I thought we made.
That's our gross profit. That's before expenses.
Of course.
So about $1,500, not bad. And
it's not bad.
Our week sold a whole lot early in the week.
Right.
And then it just kind of was
fizzled.
A little bit slower this past week.
Yeah.
Things we sold. Highest price, we sold a $200 pocket knife, a vintage pocket knife.
Oh, that's not a pocket knife. That's why I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's a fishing knife. It's like a really specialized fishing knife. The big ball on the end is to whack a fish on the head to kill it.
But it folds. It's kind of like,
it's too big for your pocket.
It's too big for my pocket?
I think so.
Okay.
It's like a very specialized fishing knife. It was like a Puma.
Yep.
Made in Germany.
And the cool thing was, it was just like we went to an auction. I bought like a pile of fishing stuff.
It was in a tackle box.
And it was in like a gross, I'm sure we've all seen these, like some gross tackle box with like gummy worms.
That are all melted.
Like rusty hooks. And it was like, stainless steel kind of hidden up underneath there. So yay for us.
I mean, if you have a nicer one, like mine was nice, but if you have a nicer one, they're worth, hundreds.
Yep.
So I was thrilled that sold.
We sold a small, like, little cabinet, a curio
cabinet. I mean, curio. It's like a tchotchke cabinet.
Yeah. It's small, but again, it came from an auction.
It was 11 by 25. That's not small.
Okay, I guess
it's not huge though. It fit in a reasonable size box.
Like, I mean, I think a curio cabinet, like, I'm gonna put all my china in it. This is like to put all a precious moment, like
thimbles. Yeah, your thimble collection.
Now, I only bring it up, so we sold that for $55.
Yeah, that wasn't much. I had it up for double that, but I didn't care.
Our helper packed it, right?
Nope, I packed it.
You packed it. Oh, I thought that was going to be the big story. Are you afraid of her packing something?
Okay, so here's the thing. So this frightened me. She had started packing. We had to go somewhere that day. It was actually Black Friday. We did not go shopping, but we had to go meet someone in the next town over. And then we were driving home right as she was packing stuff. So I walked upstairs because I had to find something for her. She's packing a chaffing dish. I don't know what they're called. And one part of it is glass. It's a glass insert. And she's bubble wrapped it. And she's packed up the stainless steel part. But she just put the glass in bubble wrap in the box. And I was like, no. You got to double box every piece of glass always. Yeah.
And peanut it.
Yeah, it was peanutted. It was peanutted, but it wasn't enough. You have to put glass in a box, inside of a box. So it worried me that I was I totally thought that I was super clear on that, where I'm you gotta double box this stuff. Because everything that sold that day was 90% delicate. So it worried me that I wasn't making that clear. I'm I thought it was super clear. Anytime there's glass, you have to double box it. So the curio cabinet, I was I'll do this one because it had a glass front.
I will say though, no, I mean, I think that's good and it's a learning thing, but I think we need to have her start just doing everything.
Oh, she will. I mean, it's one of those things where when I'm available to be here when she's packing, I like to be up there because I need to make sure she knows what I need her to do.
Right.
And,
and because it's not you're ship this a widget. We sell only
all
this
the time.
Thing
this
all
is
the
how
time.
You ship it.
And it's being a robot.
It's
this
the
is
most
being an artist. You're
here's 9 ceramic egg cups that sold. It's just oh my god.
Now is she into it or is she?
Oh no, totally.
Okay.
It's funny because, and I'm like this too with stuff. It's a puzzle. It's like a puzzle. You're okay, this has this part. There's 3 parts to it. One of it's glass. It's got to fit in a box that's reasonable.
Right.
It's got to weigh this much, hopefully this much, because that's how much we said it. I think.
So up in the office, we have a lot of kind of small boxes that we keep. But in the back, on top of our shelves, we have boxes. All the big
She knows
boxes.
to look for boxes.
So is she going up there trying to find the cool?
Yep. I'm okay, well, you put it in the initial box if it's delicate. Now look at it and what size box will be reasonable. And I showed her how to cut boxes down with the carton reducer.
Yep.
Because there are times where you're there's 6 inches above this and it can just go flat. So, but that scared me. I was oh my god, no! You must always double box glass.
We also sold an old tape deck, an old Sony.
It's a reel, but a portable reel,
a portable one, and it's cool. It's red.
Oh, it's so
we
nice.
sold it for $120. Yeah, doll hairs. And the interesting thing about this is we finally evolved again. This is the story of being evolved. Is that we now say for stuff like that untested. We don't try to test.
Sometimes I forget.
We don't try to test it. We don't know how to test it. We've also learned that we may plug it in and it's
it works.
It looks fine. And then someone actually tests it and they're no, the contraption here doesn't work. We just say untested. And the guy bought it. And I think that's just because maybe he's either going to learn how to do it himself or it's just to put up on a wall or something.
Right.
However,
we
also sold a wall clock that we just listed relatively recently.
last week.
That we forgot to say untested. So the person bought it, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, does it chime?" And we're just like, "Oh, it actually doesn't even work." So we had to cancel the sale.
So the thing, okay, yeah, the reel to reel, the reason I put such a high price on it, people sell them for like $40-$50, this model. Ours was red. I didn't find any that were red. I was like, okay, $200 best offer.
Yeah.
$125 untested. Okay, that was awesome. The clock, I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, you know what it was? It's from the 1920s. It's a banjo clock, if anybody knows what that is. And I just looked at it as decor. I was like, oh, it's decoration. No, it's a freaking clock. Like, you need to tell people if it works or not. Right. And I forgot, and it sucked because she gave me an offer of $100, and I accepted. No. And then she messaged us 5 minutes later asking all her questions. Right. And she was like, I don't really understand eBay. I didn't know I was buying this. I'm like, okay, cancel. Yeah. So canceled.
So is it back up now?
Yeah, canceled. It says untested in big letters on the title and in the description. Yep. This is untested.
Probably broke.
Probably will. Decor.
Yeah. Decor. Scavenge of the week. So
we went scavenging.
Yeah, we went scavenging, and also we've been doing a lot of online scavenging.
Yes.
The past couple months. I guess I've been kind of like not wanting to accept that, but really that's
okay.
That's really been. I don't want to accept that. No, I mean, I think I've always been down on online scavenging because I'm just like, it's such like a waste of time, and
I don't think so.
I know. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm evolving. I personally don't think it's as good as going in person and buying stuff and going to auctions because I think we pay more for stuff, but in our time period in our lives right now, it's definitely really the only way for us to consistently scavenge.
Yeah.
And it's much more convenient.
Yeah, sure.
And I will say we also are kind of doing that thing we've always talked about. We pay a little bit more, but I feel like we're getting better quality stuff.
Yep. I mean, there's stuff that...
Do you agree?
Yes, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for stuff that I think I can put up for a couple $100.
Right.
I'm like, I'll pay more for that.
Like, we will buy stuff for $20. Which,
sometimes. When
do we ever go and buy $20? I mean, it happens sometimes, but not normally.
But there's nothing. Yeah. Is there anything in specifically that I thought we got yesterday that I was like, oh my God, wow, some spode?
Oh, do you mean online or in person?
Just either.
Okay. Yeah.
This week.
I don't know. Are you excited?
I got some spode china, which is high end.
Yep.
That I thought was really pretty.
Yeah, we also did go to a Black Friday thrift store sale.
It was Fill-A-Bag.
It was actually Fill-A-Bag, so
which we didn't know about till the end.
I mean, that's like my way of scavenging.
I was like, throw it in there.
Like, it was $16 for whatever, 2 kind of nice sized bags.
It was $13,
and it was a lot of cool stuff.
I found an American Tourister train case. Mm-hmm. It's like a mini suitcase for cosmetics or something. Yeah. It was really dirty, but I always do well with those because they're very cool, storage.
It's going to be interesting to see how that sells because I feel like we're on the cusp of that. I feel like those are ones that we were able to find 5 years ago and they always sold. I feel like now everyone's in on that trend.
Yeah,
so
could be right.
I mean, it was still good. I mean, it was cheap. So
yeah.
Customer issues, really none. I mean, we kind of talked a bit about some customer
returns for fit.
Yeah.
I mean, that just is inevitable these days.
For fit.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the questions or comments that people sent in to us.
You can email us an audio file. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486.
Hey, Ryan and Jay. This is Eric in South Carolina. I had a question for you. I know many weeks back, or several weeks back, there was that big glitch with eBay where they erased all the sizes on a lot of clothes and stuff like that. And, of course, as a result, for me at least, probably many others, there was a bunch of revised listings being prompted on all my listings. And the question I had is I would go in and I would try to revise and update, and it would close, for example, put in the most obvious thing that the glitch had caused, which was putting back in the size. But on a lot of my listings, I'm just not able to fill out all the fields. And also I've noticed around that time there's a great increase of fields required, like many, many more item specifics than were there before the glitch. And what if are y'all experiencing the same thing, or anybody that y'all have talked to in the forums, where there's just no way to fill out one of those item specifics? The only example I can think of right off is maybe a piece of clothing, and one of the item specifics says year made. Well, there's no year made on these clothing, on this piece of clothing, or many pieces of clothing I have. So I just have to leave it blank. That's just the only immediate example I can think of. There are some other boxes that just can't fill in because that information is not relevant to the item. And then when I go ahead and submit the change, and I go back to my homepage, it still says revised listing on the item that I just revised. And I'm seeing that on a lot of items. Is that revised listing only going to go away if I'm able to fill in every single item specific? Is that only way eBay is going to be satisfied with that? Or is there another reason that revised listing doesn't seem to be working in any additions that I make, any more item specifics that I fill in? Isn't going to make a difference. I mean, I don't know if y'all have noticed that, or if anybody else has. If you could give me some insight on that, because it's like I'm just stuck with these items that are prompting me to revise listings. So appreciate any help you could pass along to me on that. Appreciate it.
I have not noticed that because I haven't gone and tried to edit any of my clothing listings. But I did notice that eBay requires now they don't require, but they've added 1 million new item specifics, like so many. And look, that's fine. Like they should have lots of item specifics, but I have not tried to edit any of mine. So if anybody else is having that problem, they should talk about it on the forum. I have not heard anyone talk about that on the forum either. Have you?
How are you telling our helper to deal with those?
We haven't done any clothing in a couple of weeks. Okay. So
how are you going to tell her?
Well, I told her in general that eBay is asking for a lot more item specifics. And I said, fill in the ones with the asterisks. Of course, those are, you have to have those. And then anything else that you think is relevant, fill that in, but you don't have to fill in everything. Yeah. Like, you don't have to go nuts and be like, what, like year made? You're just like, what are you talking about? So, just do your best.
I don't know. I mean, I know there was a whole lot of talk on the forum after the big glitch where things got pulled off of eBay and people's stores were all messed up. But I don't know. I haven't heard too much after that. It's
odd to me that they wouldn't be allowing the default item specifics like brand and color and size. Right. Like that he can't fill those in. That's weird. Yeah. I mean, that's a glitch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, I feel like that whole structured data thing really works if if we have a store and we sell like 6 things. But we sell thousands of those 6 things. So then each 6 of those things, we could go in and fill in like
everything,
like whole pages of stuff. But if you're doing 8,000 individual items, it's just not reasonable to fill in all that stuff.
Right. I mean, it's not reasonable to fill it in, but also like you don't have that much information. You're right. Like, I don't think. I mean, you might have some of it. Right. And I think structured data is good. Like, I am shopping on eBay for specific things sometimes, or Amazon or whatever. I was on B&H today, and I was like looking for something very specific on the left-hand side, the check boxes.
That's an electronics store in New York City.
B&H Photo. So I think it's important to filter things out because sometimes when you're typing in keywords, it's not filtering that stuff out.
But B&H is a good place for that because they're selling like, electronics that are brand new.
Right.
And so they have that kind of structured. But if you're just like, I found
here's
this
a pie tin from 1930.
Yeah, I found this weird thing on the ground. Like,
you're me, 1930. Yeah.
Hi, Jay and Ryan. It's Peter in Eastern North Carolina. I do cleanouts and sell a little bit on eBay when I have time. My question today is about Playboy magazines, and is there a way to ship them where I can verify the age of the buyer, or is it just easier not to worry about it? Hope somebody can help me. Thanks so much. Love the podcast and shampoo and booze. Bye.
So no, there's no way for you to verify who you're shipping to. However, you will be listing in a category called adult only. And adult only, I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. It requires you to say that you're an adult. So anybody can do that, but that's not your problem. Yeah. That's eBay's problem.
And really, to be honest, Playboy is like the most...
I mean, at this point...
It's like, it's almost kind of kitschy.
I mean, it is kitschy, yeah.
Pornography compared to what anyone with an internet browser could just do a search.
Look at. Agreed. Yeah. But to answer his question, there's no way for you to verify that. Although, you know, I think there are services like there are like wineries around here. I used to work at one of them where you would have to put a label on your FedEx where you're like only someone above 21 can sign for this. That's the only way you could.
Are you allowed to send wine through the mail? Oh,
depends on what state you're in.
Oh, okay.
It depends on what your state you're in and what state you're sending to.
Got it.
Because they're wine clubs. Like I used to be part of a wine club and stuff, but it has to be an adult with like an ID signing for it.
Right.
So whatever, you wouldn't do that with Playboy's what you would do is you would list it under adult only, and you're supposed to like verify, which is literally clicking that you're an adult. So there's not much verification there.
Yeah.
And if you're that worried about it, don't sell them.
Yeah.
Throw them in the recycling.
Yeah.
Hi, Jay and Ryan. This is Doug Squim Salty out in Washington State. I just had a little tip I'd like to share. Oftentimes I will buy a lot of similar items. Say it's a lot of fishing reels or a lot of figurines or a lot of plates. And when I take a bunch of pictures in a row, I kind of can get confused on separating them for which listing is what. And recently what I do is I'm taking 6 or 7 pictures. When I'm done with that item, I just take a blank shot of the white paper in my light box, and then I start on the next listing. And so when I'm sitting down to actually make the listing, it's real clear when one item ends and the next one starts, and that's been helpful. And just want to thank you for all the tips you've taught us and the way you've helped my business grow. Thanks. Bye.
Very nice to hear that.
Yes, thank you. So my mom does something similar because she doesn't photograph on the mobile app. On the mobile app, you're just photographing in each individual listing, so there's no confusion. But if you're taking photos with a camera and then importing them in, my mom does something similar. Well, she'll have like a little Post-it note of information about the item, like the measurements or how much she paid for it. And that is her last photo. She obviously doesn't put it in the listing, but then she knows like this is a new purse, this is a new dress, you know. So she does something similar just to visually show that it's the next listing.
When I was taking pictures of our stuff, I would sometimes take pictures of our cat.
Yeah.
But it's not to separate anything.
Just for fun. Because the cat wants to be in the photo.
Or just take pictures of something outside. Just so when you went through the photos, you'd see it.
No wonder you were forgetting to list certain things, because you'd be distracted taking pictures around the house, and then you'd forget that you didn't actually take pictures of the thing in front of you.
Okay, that is it for today. I hope you guys had a good holiday week and more. It's like
Cyber Monday.
It's like the Christmas season.
Cyber Monday tomorrow.
Everyone's cozy.
We've never had a good Cyber Monday. Yeah. Everyone's like, it's Cyber Monday. I'm like, my sales are normal.
Again, I'm telling you, I think it's all about, and it's funny on Reddit, people are taking videos in stores where they will show these sale, Black Friday sale, and then they'll flip up the piece of paper
and it's the same price,
and it's the same exact price as normal. It's just like
it was less normal.
Yeah. I'm hoping we're like on the other side where everyone's just realizing that this Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's just like, it's a racket. It's like, it's not any better.
Well, also like,
or there's like the one thing on sale and then everything else is the same price.
well, I mentioned B&H because a friend of mine and I were texting and we're like, oh, look at this price drop on B&H. Their price drops everywhere. It's on Amazon. It's online. It's whatever. You don't have to go to the store to get the...
I mean, and as a retailer, I mean, like, if I think like a retailer, it's better, like, since I know everyone's out shopping, I want to not make my prices too low. I bet the best time to buy it is like in February.
Right, when people,
when no one is buying anything, and that's when I have
the holidays are over.
Yeah, I mean, that's when I have the incentive to like try and get things off my shelf.
Get the deals.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I saw a video online of like Black Friday up in Canada. Did you see that video?
Yeah, we're like...
At Best Buy, they open the doors and everyone's like, one guy let someone walk in front of him. He's like, oh no, after you.
And the employees are like high-fiving people.
Yeah, they're like shaking people's hands and walking.
And then like in America, they open up a door and people are like running on top. It's so weird. What's wrong with us? You know?
Americans are so aggressive.
Okay, we're actually done. You can check out our blog at scavengerlife.com where our whole archive is. You can just play everything. Just listen to it if you want. It's all free. You can go to scavenginglife.com/forum if you'd like to talk to us and everybody else who we hang out with. You can call and leave a question or comment on our voicemail line.
The phone number is 540-407-8486, or you can email us an audio file. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com.
Yep, we post a video podcast.
What is it? It's a media file.
It is, a media file. Like we do our ones and zeros every Sunday night, Monday morning. Today was like one of those days where we had to slow down. We're like, let's sit. Let's not just jump right into the podcast.
Let's eat our lunch. Let's drink some cocoa.
Have a coffee. We even watched like a little cool show just to kind of like, and then we did this.
So we're
calmer,
non-aggressive.
Wednesdays we post the What Sold video from Steven Schultz. And they've been good, right? He's like constantly, he's like us. He just like cranks them out.
He never complains.
Yeah. He's like...
now I'm going to get an email from Steve complaining he has to put a video.
He's like our best friend. And...
Shampoo and Booze.
Yes.
Oh, Ashley and I are going to record this week. We're going to record a new video.
Yep.
So Shampoo and Booze, we talk about design and operations of Airbnbs, short-term rentals. People have been sending us their listings to critique. It's unbelievably fun.
Cool.
Shampooandbooze.com or youtube.com/shampooandbooze.
Yep. We're ending this podcast.
Are we?
In 3, 2, 1.
Sell trash, be free.
There you go.